Welcome back to the all-Egyptian battle. Could be the match of the day, possibly. We have seen some cracking matches already. Mohamed ElShorbagy taking on Youseff Ibrahim. Well, spread the word, the SQUASHTV members and people watching this, that it's also free on Facebook for any of your contemporaries that aren't on SQUASHTV that would like to watch this one, help promote the game. So it's on the PSA Facebook page, PSA World Tour, and you can see this live between these two players, which, if things go on history, could be a very dramatic and exciting battle. 22 years of age, he had an unbelievable tournament in Manchester. Struggled a bit after that, I have to say. Thought there was going to be another big push from this young man, but when he does get it together, he's so exciting to watch. Movement as well as that swashbuckling racket work. He's got himself in tremendous shape, strong physique on him, Ibrahim. Mohamed ElShorbagy's made it public now that he will be playing this event and then taking 3 months off to train and work on the physicality that's been lacking at the later stages of these tournaments in this last phase. He's won this event 3 times previously, and he's approaching 600 matches on the World Tour. His rival at the top of the tree, Ali Farag, sadly forgetting to enter this event, which is a hugely costly mistake. Joining me, Johnny Williams once again for the last 2 matches here today. We've got Paul Cole coming up after this with the Portuguese #1 Rui Soares, who's made a bit of history being the first Portuguese player to reach a 2nd round of the Platinum. Johnny, court conditions, I mean, he's beaten him here before. The familiarity of beating Mohamed ElShorbagy on this centre stage will have a pretty reasonable split, I'd imagine, between the crowd, I'd like to think. So there won't be much of an advantage, I don't think, for Shorbagy in that respect. But there's the only time they've played, 65 minutes. So a lot of good memories for him. And these conditions, if he keeps the ball away from the tin, Ibrahim, will suit him well, won't they?
Most definitely.
15 seconds.
I had a quick chat with him at the hotel the other day. He did say that he spent 2 weeks locked in quarantine in a room, unable to do anything, heading into that US Open.
Round 2 match, Youseff Ibrahim of Egypt to serve. Mohamed ElShorbagy of Egypt to receive best of 5 games. Love all.
So Ibrahim kicking off the 7th match of today's play on the glass court.
1 love.
Well, that 2 weeks in quarantine he spoke about, it must have been prior to the Nets week, because he played Nets week. What was the time gap between Nets week and US Open? A week or less? 5 days?
Not even that. We finished, the final was on the Monday, and then the US Open started on the Friday.
Yeah, I mean, the fast and furious play that Ibrahim likes to employ will be well suited here.
2-1.
Well, it's pretty evident what the tactics are from Mohamed early doors, is to go out all guns blazing and look to try and take out Ibrahim under a certain time duration.
And out. 2-3.
Yeah, the peak of Ibrahim's form, no doubt, was that Manchester Open. He seemed to even injure himself against Joel Macon. That's a wonderful hold. Loves to cock the leg up a little bit. Just adds a bit of flair to the shot. You'll see here.
Yeah, well, there's the other leg cocker is obviously just gone down to Tariq Moment, James Wolfstrop.
Stroke to Ibrahim.
Wonderful shot there. Played very unorthodox with bringing the hand almost on the wrong side of the body to play that forehand drop. That's a thumping line, so
5-3.
this will certainly give him a bit more of that feeling that he got from beating Shorbagy last year. And Shorbagy's willing to trade blows with him very early on here.
Yes, lad.
This is the big shout of review.
Player review, Ibrahim on yes decision.
Looked like he had a megaphone there in his hand. Tried to get that megaphone effect. I think it's a little bit over exuberant here from Ibrahim if he's searching for a stroke here. This angle sort of shows that he's pushing up into Shorbagy there. There is another line available to go more directly to the ball there. That's why it stays as a let.
Yes, lad. Decision I'll have. Ibrahim has no review remaining. 5-3 left box. Left box.
So Mohamed just perhaps telling him the review card's just evaporated. Hope you don't need it later. Oh, what a great change there. He's been holding and from a very open stance with the front wall. He's been flipping it down the line straight, and then he decides to just open up more angle there. Such a tricky player. And he's got wonderful wrist movements, but the way he tends to get his body in very strange positions.
Are you okay, Shorbagy?
So this should stay, this will be a let, should be.
You asking for let?
Yeah, please. Coach, he hit me with his racket. He hit me. Left.
Ibrahim's just trying to...
Well, I didn't see that he hit you with the racket because...
We're both telling you it's a left ball. Please.
If you both agree, then we play let. Yes.
Thank you.
Both agree.
Oh, wow. Oh.
No, I don't see any blood. Please play on. Yes, play on. Play on, please. Where's the blood? Yes, okay. No, because... Yeah. Physio, please. Come on board.
Well, we need to finish with the comedy sketch here, Joey, and stuff
mate,
like this. I mean, it's clear. I mean, even from here, we can see that his hand is bleeding. And with it, irrespective of what you think of the blood rule, it is what it is, and you need to go and get it tidied up.
Well, I mean,
from
it's
the physio.
no, I mean the blood rule was updated. You know that, Johnny, but
So he will
he's just waiting for someone to just come and see him. One of the courtside doctors or physio.
5 minutes.
To just sort that out. It's on his actual playing hand. Just a little scrape on the floor. Now, Ibrahim's, you know, I mean, this is the problem you see, is that there's nobody here, and you know, he said 5 minutes. The referee's not getting up or doing anything.
Well, I asked for the physio.
Has he asked for the physio? I don't think he has.
Mr. Physio, if he's around, please come on to the court, please.
Remember the old Monty Python back at the Grasshopper Cup? I don't know what you want to call this one in Qatar. Shauna will be coming shortly.
Yeah, she will.
Not Sean.
Not the Mr. Physio. Mrs. Physio.
I think I can go and see that.
Oh. Well, we're all sorted now, so just a little bit of a minor taping of the hand of Ibrahim on his left hand there, index finger. Let ball will be played from the situation that happened.
Six-3. Yes, left. Right.
So Youseff Ibrahim after that stoppage. The towel back in the basket. 6-3, kicking off from the right-hand service box.
Well, again, success on this left-hand side of the court. Ibrahim, with very, very little time to manoeuvre the racket head, has completely bamboozled Shorbagy once again. Shorbagy just half guessing. I don't know what Ibrahim's doing there. That was ridiculous. That is even more ridiculous. He's having fun out there, Joey, and turning this into an exhibition. He's rubbing salt into the wounds.
That was the old tennis attempt from behind himself. That was the previous one. Here we go. Well, he nearly got punished for that shot selection. 9-3 up now. Another 10, so 7 game balls for Ibrahim.
Game ball.
He certainly is a big, big talent, this guy. Another exquisite finish there from Ibrahim. Big load of thoughts to go through now to get himself into this.
Yeah, it was after a strong early start from Shorbagy. He's kind of backed off slightly. 13 minutes, Ibrahim far too dangerous. Open play, leading 1-0.
Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it, Joey? You said that Shorbagy, we saw him opening up with some nice short plays from the back of the court, but it was evident that he wanted to go short pretty early, and that attack down that left-hand side in this highlights reel, you're going to see a lot of wonderful shots played on Ibrahim's forehand. Very deceptive there. Just so much speed when he goes out with that left leg, which he favours. I mean, this rally here is just shows the improvisation ability of this young man is exceptional. Shorbagy needs to start pinning him back. If he doesn't pin him back, then he's really playing with fire. Ibrahim looking good here, and Shorbagy's on there early, and that might be a sign that he wants to get this ball warm and get things going in a more traditional, conventional manner.
Play will resume in 30 seconds. Fifteen seconds. Ibrahim leads 1-0. Love all.
Well, let's see if we... It's a bit of fluff on the court. We'll get a response now from Mohamed. You know, he was onto the court quickly after the intermission, Johnny. He wanted to get on there and get going, and been practicing on this court quite a bit when the first day of the day before the tournament started. Unless there has been a lot of residual nerves that have gone on. He's kind of slightly taking a bit of steam out of his legs. I don't know. I mean, we can analyse it all day long. I mean, at the end of the day, the only person that really knows what's going on is Mohamed. I didn't expect that to be so straightforward, put it that way, the first game.
Oh goodness, not at all. And I'm just trying to sort of break this down a little bit in my mind, because the situation psychologically, again, it's another winner on that left-hand side. He's called that he's having a break after this tournament. So I'm just saying, if you're in Ibrahim's shoes now, you just pile everything into this game, everything you have, because if you get a 2-love lead, Shorbagy could be thinking about that sabbatical that he's called on himself already a little bit. Just losing belief, you know. Against someone that he lost to on this very court just a year ago.
Yes, lad. One love. Down. And out. 1-all.
Great shot again. He's just nailing those drops.
And out. 2-1.
Just the pressure he created down the line in the first game is starting to pay itself back. Doesn't need to do that though. He's Very, very prime position here to just keep increasing that pressure on Shorbagy's mindset. Doesn't need to go for outrageous winners from deep in the court. It's creating enough problems for him when he's moving forward, especially front left. Oh, that's some serious good play there.
It is, but he's just not. He's, you know, his movement usually into that into either corners is always strong, and he's just off the mark. Slowly into that front left, which is obviously the target zone for the lefties. He's really, you know, from that first couple of rallies, Johnny, where he was looking to stamp his authority, he's completely backed off again. I don't know.
Massively gone into a shell of some kind. I don't know what he is hoping for, whether Ibrahim to break down a bit, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. But he is very, very much at sea. I cannot remember ever seeing Mohamed ElShorbagy missing shots like that.
Down. And out. 3-4.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's it.
Oh, he's just turning urging them on as well, Joey.
Yeah, he just whipped that round. That was fizzed beautifully. You could hear it. It was like a brrr.
Well, there was a pickup in that rally. He was pinned in the front right, and he managed to somehow get past Shorbagy. And as you say, the swashbuckler, there's nothing more swashbuckling than that boast into the neck.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be a bit something a bit more substantial, but from possible name for this young man,
Errol Flynn, great Australian.
Yeah, but he's not. He's from Egypt.
Yeah, I know.
And out.
Swashbuckling.
4-5. And out. 6-4.
Well, he's keeping ahead in this second game, 6-4. 1 game to love lead for Ibrahim.
And out. 5-6.
Yeah, it was nicely done. Moved on to that loose ball from Shorbagy, punishing straight down the line.
He's done him again on that left side. It's unbelievable the way that he's able to create so much just pressure by just leaning and putting that racket head out. No backswing on that shot whatsoever. Shorbagy really needs to contain him heavily now. and he's only semi-containing him at the moment, and that's comes with the equation out of that is that he's relying on the fact that Youseff Ibrahim's going to make some pretty poor errors. Oh, he's got that up, and then it's... Shorbagy nervous, Joey? I mean, that kind of shot there, he's completely muffed this one. Here,
I don't know.
you talk about being edgy, but it's just a real lack of confidence, completely shot.
Well, the coordination is kind of, at times, is really out of kilter, isn't it? The coordination.
Oh, goodness
me,
me, what a choice of shot.
Nearly took his ear off. I mean, that was kind of Zorro-esque, wasn't it?
See him in a mask around his eyes. Just an awful position for Shorbagy to be stuck in.
It's just not, you know, I mean, he's playing well, Ibrahim, but, I mean, this is not, you don't see this type of stuttering of movement.
No, he's already looking in that same sort of tangle that we've seen, but it's happening a lot earlier now. Again, very nice shot, but Shorbagy's resistance is broken in this game. 5-game balls, and this has been way, way quicker than we could have imagined.
Well,
11-5, game Ibrahim.
Talk about it all day long, but I mean, this is obviously not what Mohamed ElShorbagy even has got through some of the earlier rounds and then come unstuck against the top few players in the world in the later stages. Youseff Ibrahim is the last person he'd be wanting to play in a round 2 encounter. 2-love lead for the lefty.
Yeah, Youseff Ibrahim absolutely enjoying himself out there. He's in scintillating form with his shots, but because Shorbagy's game is just nowhere near where we would expect, he's making some very, very uncharacteristic errors around the front of the court where his movement patterns seem to just be completely off. And Ibrahim taking full advantage of that, as we'd expect. He is of that quality, shown it in the last half year in particular, that with a bit of time and space on the ball, he's going to release a barrage of shots that he has, and he's doing it in fine fashion. Very hard to see unless there's a complete switch from ElShorbagy into some kind of modus that resembles the beast that we know that he is. Don't see him coming back from here.
Play will resume in 30 seconds. Seconds.
I mean, even if you have time off and you recuperate, Joe, and you get yourself back in order, you'd want to get yourself in pretty good order, because the mental scarring happening in these sorts of matches for Shorbagy is quite damaging, I feel. It's giving
2 games to love all.
a lot of confidence to these guys such as Ibrahim, who are very much on the march and looking to head towards the top 10. A little bit lazy there and cheap from Ibrahim.
One love.
That's unbelievable.
And out 1-all.
Massive, massive confidence player, and
2-1.
Shorbagy's just not showing any kind of body language to suggest that he's getting ready for a massive push back into this match. And that's hit the nick and rolled out, so the
3-1.
shot exhibition from Ibrahim continues as he's given plenty of opportunity. And he's just getting a little bit too excited there.
And out. 2-3.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. He needs to be careful. Never, never underestimate the beast, even if he is having a tough time out there. 3-all. Shorbagy's actually just lifted his movement. You've seen that? I'll just say that, and then he's stuck on the tee, which is typical timing. But he looked like he was trying to be busier then. I mean, that boast has come from a wide position.
It's more like the Shorbagy of old, that signature hold there as he comes in. See it nice from the angle there, the sharp lift of the racket and then completely stopping on the ball. His top spin, that's way down, yeah, and Ibrahim's called it. He top spin that almost into the floor. Absolutely. If
5-4.
referee did not see this, Joe, look at this.
Right
I mean, that is miles down.
I just got I'm speechless. Well, Shorbagy drawing level at 5-all. 6-4, sorry.
6-4.
He's pushing on here. It's the first time he's had a bit of a lead since the very beginning of the first game. If I get my words out, I've been bamboozled by that ball that was in the floor. He's gone completely walkabout here. This is dangerous for Youseff Ibrahim.
Stroke to ElShorbagy. (8-4). Yes, lad.
Why?
You,
It's so easy.
no, you're in the way, lad. Yes, lad. Down.
Well, Johnny, we've had 30 minutes now.
Very, very short and quick time. I don't know what Youseff Ibrahim is doing. He's just not getting any kind of balance in his game. He has a tendency, obviously, to just want to overplay the front half of the court, and he's done that here. Shorbagy looking as wobbly as one possibly could. Should really close out this game from here, but that helps along a lot of it. A lot of unforced errors pouring off the racket of Ibrahim.
9-6. Yes, lad. 9-6.
Goodness me.
It's the old wrist break.
I know, but the way that ball travelled as well, I mean, it was...
7-9.
I mean,
However he plays, I've never really seen anybody play it in that style.
No, that's what I mean. It's like trying to work the blooming physics out of that one.
We need to ask Shane Warne or Mira Lithuran.
Exactly. Oh, that's really poor. I mean, it's his for the taking here, and he's just tinning out. You know, it's like Mohamed doesn't actually want to play necessarily a fourth game, sadly, and he's got 3 game balls. That's a stroke. No, it's a stroke, that is. It's not a let ball.
No, it's not a good shot, and he's this open position that he chooses to play it from comes with its disadvantage in terms of your movement, because he's really standing very much in the way and crowding the space. So if he's going to do that, he needs to keep it very straight and tight, which he's not done. So this really should be the end of this game here, and I think we need to look at this too many times.
So Mohamed ElShorbagy takes the 3rd game in this second round, the 7th match of today's play on the glass court here in Doha. 34 minutes now, and Ibrahim leading 2 games to 1.
Yeah, well, the quick fire stuff of Ibrahim, we know how capable he is of executing marvellous shots and great variety of them, but that's all he was doing really. He forgot that there is a back half of the court to work into as well. Tactically, it was very poor on his part. Definitely, obviously, sensing and sniffing that there's a chance to beat ElShorbagy again here on a big stage. It's all about now whether he just can bring himself in a little bit mentally, because ElShorbagy is absolutely still there for the taking. We saw those laboured movements still, and he's just got to take away the hope of ElShorbagy early on in this game.
Play will resume in 60 seconds. Fifteen seconds. Ibrahim leads 2 games to 1. ElShorbagy to serve. Lavo.
Catching the nick there.
And out.
Again,
1 love.
fierce attacking foray there in the front right part of the court.
Not up. Thank you. And out. 1 all. And out. 2-1.
Well, he's got to show maturity here, Ibrahim. He needs to win this, but he can't be giving it away, if you know what I mean. Prime example of that was what happened in the third game. You know, he needs to be 100% focused in this situation, Johnny. He's 2-1 up, playing a bit of a shadow of what the Beast is renowned for, and needs to show his bottle, really, Johnny.
Good hold
play
there from
yeah,
Shorbagy.
it's nice play.
He's certainly reverted to just building with a few more lines, but he's incessant with trying to use angle at the front. Still inviting Shorbagy a little bit, saying if you're good enough with a racket in the front, it's taking him on really head to head with that short game.
No let. No let. You pick the player, go on the ball, please.
He played such an amazing drop shots today, but that was not one of his.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but
I mean, the resignation about Shorbagy in this situation like that. I mean,
I know he usually goes.
very, he's way too relaxed for me in that situation. He would have
gone nuts.
He would have reviewed it and gone nuts.
He gone nuts.
That was more in line with the amazing drop shots that Shorbagy was talking about. Very, very tidy. Again, just Ibrahim overstretching, really. Not the right time to be
3-4.
going for those extreme volley drops when he's so far out of position and stretched. He doesn't need to do that. He's got a good ability to work the ball with his wrist to the back of the court as well and be deceptive with it. Needs to use that a bit more.
No let.
How can I go to the shot?
Go on the ball, please.
How?
You're picking up the player. Yes.
I can jump over him.
Yeah,
I can jump over him.
you go around him, please.
How can I go to the ball? You're not giving me away. Tell me how.
Well, he's a bit more animated here, that's for sure, and he sparked up a bit.
Yeah, but go around him. You're going straight on the opponent.
How am I just wish I didn't even ask for an explanation. I wish.
Well, it would have been a
And
long way around, to be
5-3.
fair.
Yeah, you'd have to have done a bit of a detour around some of the back roads.
Six-3. And out.
Again, it's another loose ball in the front. He's setting him up a lot, Ibrahim.
Well, the boast of all those shots, Joe, is just absolutely the one he does not need to play, especially when it's hitting the floor and then coming off the sidewall. Just a shot in general with the straight attacking skills and the way he can whip the ball around with his wrist.
No let. And out. 7-4.
Yeah, ElShorbagy not just moved onto the wrong side of Ibrahim there, and he wasn't pushing hard enough to get back, and now that gap is starting to widen. And that's a wonderful nick off serve. Again, serve is not on the wall.
And out. 5-7.
Well, it's attention to detail, which this young man he's got to utilise this situation. He's got a 2-point lead, he's 2-1 up, and he's going to have to win this. Good hustling from Shorbagy, good defensive work.
Stroke Stroke to ElShorbagy. Pickup was good.
It's kind of the first time we've seen him there, just
6-7.
giving a little bit of an extra push there. And I mean, the incentive is still there if he can manage to somehow sneak this game.
Well, big time.
Playing
I mean,
a guy who refuses to put any real work into Shorbagy.
Well, look at now the old adrenaline starting to work for Shorbagy, and he's really actually hunting the ball, and he's starting to move, Johnny. It's the best he's moved now. Just stayed in.
Unbelievable power through the legs. What's he going to do here? Straight on to Shorbagy's racket.
There you go. Well, he guessed it, and he guessed right. And now the questions are being asked of the mental strength here of Ibrahim, because Mohamed ElShorbagy, for the first time in this whole match, has started to liven up slightly. There's a bit more energy in his movements on and off the ball.
Yes, right.
You said go to the ball. You kept saying go to the ball. Now it's not? It's not.
You want a review?
Yes. It's the same one as the
Player review. Him on a yes-led decision.
I mean, the problem Ibrahim's got is he keeps popping these balls into the front like that, and they're just, you know, I mean, that's not a good shot from Shorbagy though. He might be I mean, he's got yeah, I mean, he's got a point there. I mean, I don't think he's able, because of the shot of Shorbagy, the quality's not great, and
Does he veer too much?
well, he is veering
down
there,
the middle.
But then, I mean, how much space has he really got between Shorbagy and the sidewall to get in between him?
He's definitely obviously trying to manufacture the stroke there, and he has successfully done it. But
No go to the ball?
Stroke to Ibrahim.
No go to the ball? No go to the ball this time?
Yeah. Stroke to Ibrahim. Ibrahim decision overruled. Ibrahim has one review remaining. Hand out 8-7. Down.
and there's that vicious attack again from the left-hand side, standing full on square to the front wall. A fantastic touch from Ibrahim.
9-7.
Just 2 points away now as Shorbagy crunches it into the cross-court, Nick.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. This was going to happen. It's the first time I've seen those eyes of Shorbagy, the flitting eyes, the alert eyes off return of serve. It's kind of possibly the... He's done well there, Shorbagy. Oh, that's unlucky. That is unlucky. He was moving around.
He's still
Well,
just...
it's a massive serve, isn't it? I mean, you can't... The skill set of Ibrahim. Shorbagy's already shown what he can do off the serve. It doesn't matter if it's forehand or backhand. So let's see what this young man... He's got 2 match balls. It's a decent one. And he's put it in the tin. I mean, that is...
Such a nervy player, isn't he? He just can't help himself. He's addicted to playing winning shots at the front of the court, and every variety of them.
He's getting some very good depth here. Tight as well. This is good work to the back of the court. Oh my goodness me, and he's lost it there.
11-9, match to Ibrahim, 3 games to 1.
Well, Johnny, I have to say that, you know, obviously we're not seeing the beast that we know, but certainly started to get going in that 4th game. I mean, some of the quality, he lost his footing, which was a shame, but the swashbuckler has managed to take out the beast for a second time here in Qatar. He's going to be building a very big fan club in Doha. That to rival Tariq Moment. 47 minutes between the two Egyptians, and the younger man taking it 3-1. We're going to be hearing from him and the immaculate looking Andy.
Well, Youseff, last year you saved match ball and came back to earn the upset. Today, you established control early to take out Mohamed ElShorbagy. When you were preparing for tonight's match, is this the one you envisioned?
Not at all. You know, I actually, you know, I expected myself to play really well because, you know, Mohamed is known as the beast for everyone who is like watching. I mean, I'm not the one who's gonna talk about his spirit and his work ethic and how his mentality is so strong. He's probably has the strongest mentality out of any squash player, and for a consistent number of years. So I knew like my win against him last year is gonna rile him up, and he's gonna come at me today. So I didn't want to fall to be the victim. You know, I'm also the kind of player who plays better when I'm angry. So I tried to give myself a reason to be angry today. You know, I knew he would come at me very strong, so I was very prepared from the start. He tried to push the pace so hard in the beginning, so I equaled him, and I think, you know, I didn't want to anyone to say like it's lucky win. So I'm happy to be competing with the top 10 guys and beating them consistently. So I think my tactics worked out well, and I held my nerves pretty well throughout the match.
One of the interesting things is since we've returned from the pandemic lockdowns, you've started putting up results at the Platinums. What clicked? What changed during that time away? Did you work on the mental aspect of your game? Was it the physical aspect of your game?
Well, I'm actually still a student athlete at Princeton University in the US, so I'm not a full-time pro yet, but luckily the pandemic works to my favor. I used that whole year to train in Egypt with the best players in the world, and I was able to travel to play some tournaments. Shout out to my Princeton squash team. They're actually watching back home, and they're all cheering up for me. So go Tigers! I'm sure they're watching now, and yeah, I just used that time to, you know, I'm lucky that I got this year to travel and play professionally, but I trained super hard. So I wouldn't say that I don't deserve it. I'm a little bit lucky, but I was mentally tough. Yeah, my results were consistent throughout the whole season, and I'm happy I'm getting a step further every tournament.
Your second time at the Qatar Classic. What about these Egyptian fans that show up year after year to support their own? Yeah.
Well, you know, every time I go back to the US, I feel a little bit homesick after 2 months or 1 month, and I want to go back to Egypt to talk Arabic with my family and friends. This feels right at home. This feels like in Egypt. This feels like back home. I'm happy that I'm seeing Egyptian and Arab faces cheering up for us. You know, of course, me and Mohamed are both Egyptians. I'm sure they're going to be a lot louder when I play non-Egyptian players. So, but we're super happy to have them back. You know, they make such an atmosphere, and they drive us to push harder and harder every time. And I'm just so happy to see faces in the stands cheering for us.
Youseff, tremendous win here tonight. Best of luck in the round of 16. Let's hear it for Youseff Ibrahim.
Thank you so much.
Certainly was a big win for Youseff Ibrahim. He's backed that win up from last year. Tactically, I feel that he did get a little bit wrong in the third game, definitely. He managed to just restore things in the fourth game enough. Shorbagy made one final sort of push at the end. Unfortunately left his run too late. It did look like he was starting to gather some momentum as the game wore on, but he just had too much ground to make up. Interesting to see now. He's going to take some time off and recharge the batteries, and hopefully we're going to see the beast come back bigger and better than ever. We know that he's got a lot more left in him, and Youseff Ibrahim, his quest will continue here against Mazen Hesham, so that is just going to be an absolute shot feast given the way that those two like to play. We've got the last match of today's play coming up in the second round to complete the whole of the second round. Portuguese #1 Rui Suarez, great win yesterday against Arturo Salazar, playing Superman Paul Cole.